You can't wait. Even if they're wrong, the worst case is that they just cut a fringe roster guy anyway.
Yeah.
But I mean, you don't want to play around with stuff like that.
I guess the flip side to that would be the Deshaun Watson. Obviously, it's a different situation, but it's an ongoing investigation into sexual misconduct, as was with masseuse, and it was really gross if any of it's true. All of this is alleged, obviously, but because you're talking about a starting top 10 quarterback versus a fringe linebacker, it's no, you wouldn't tolerate the same accusations against a fringe quarterback or a fringe anything. So that's why Deshaun Watson's still technically on the Texans, and this dude is unemployed. So obviously it's upsetting, it's disgusting, it's, if any of it's true. You want to believe victims, you want to believe people that come out and say that, but you also, in this country, you're innocent until proven guilty. So I hope that they're investigating it. He was charged, which I don't think Watson was Watson charged? I should fucking know this. I know there's civil lawsuits. I know there's civil lawsuits. He's being sued into oblivion. But yeah. It's 24 women at least. But yeah, you want to see this play out. You want to see the investigation, and if he's guilty, I hope they fucking throw him under the prison. And if he's not, I hope that the people making the accusations are arrested, because it only hurts victims when someone falsely accuses someone as well. So it's gross, and we gotta see where this goes.
Yeah, and regarding the Deshaun thing, man, like. It's so hard to do, like you said, and try to see the good in people, and just, of course you always hope, maybe you don't, but I do. I always hope that the accusers are lying, because I don't want to know that someone that I admire, I don't want to think of them as like this evil person, but I mean, it happens,
Yeah.
So of course, whenever his stuff first started kind of to like come to light, I was like, maybe it's just some estranged ex-girlfriend or something. It happens all the time. I'm sure that it's nothing. And then they just kept piling up. And once you approach 24 women, that's some very, very, very impressive teamwork if they're all lying. Like, I don't know how you could pull that off. So again, it's alleged. I'm not saying that he did it, but my goodness, it does not look good. At all.
It's funny because when it first came out, it was like 5 days after he asked for his release, and the first thing I thought was like, oh shit, Houston's playing dirty.
Yep, same.
And then they just kept coming, and what I started thinking about that more, and I'm like, I bet you Houston was keeping all this shit quiet. And when he said he wanted to be released, they're like, well, we're not going to fucking protect you anymore. And obviously I have no evidence of that. That's just where my mind went. So yeah, that it's crazy. I've read some of the accusations. Obviously I'm not going to repeat it here, but if any of what he said, everything that they say, if any of it's true, fucking gross, man. And from what I read, a lot of it was consistent. So it would take some serious coordination if it's some kind of conspiracy.
Yes. Yeah, that was definitely the biggest thing is how similar that each of the stories were. and yeah, I mean, not only would it be impressive for them to all have like the same story and game plan, these women are like all across the country. It's not like it's just one place or anything like that. And, obviously NFL players are traveling all over the country. So I'm sure, or it all lines up. It seems very, very plausible that it happened.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dimitri. I saw what you just posted.
Yeah. So yeah, this just dawned on me, but it's kind of huge. Bill Cosby was freed this week. The courts overturned his sex assault conviction, which that's insane. Like, I mean, I'm not. It kind of goes with what you guys are saying.
Yeah.
Like, you hope that that stuff didn't happen, but like, obviously, if there's evidence, it's just. I mean, he is now a shitty person. But I was personally hoping that Bill was was all right. Like, I always liked him growing up. As far as like the Fat Albert stuff, like I kind of grew up on that. So always liked him. I didn't watch the Cosby Show at all, really. But yeah, I was kind of hyped to hear him get released. That's kind of
Do you know
huge.
why he got released though? Like the technicality is because he had a civil case that about a decade ago, and in that civil case he testified and essentially admitted to some of that shit. And they when they decided to criminally charge him, they used some of the testimony that he gave in the civil case to convict him, which is not okay. So he got out on the technicality, but he's just as guilty. Yeah, and I grew up watching The Cosby Show. I wasn't a huge fan, but that shit was always on Nick at Night. And, you know, it's his image prior to all this shit was wholesome and a bit annoyingly wholesome because he used to talk shit about rappers and there's a famous Eddie Murphy bit he does about how Bill Cosby called him at home and told him to stop swearing in his stand-up. And then Eddie Murphy calls Richard Pryor to tell him, like, this motherfucker just called me and told me to stop swearing. And Pryor told him, tell him to suck my dick. And it's classic. It's great. And that's kind of where I'm at with Bill Cosby. You can suck my dick because if 100 women are going to accuse him of doing this shit, he's probably a piece of shit. So yeah. I hope he supposedly he's blind now and he's trying to make a comeback. He was like he was yelling at some university for not letting his TV wife give a speech there. So he's already sanctimoniously trying to tell people how to live their lives while also being a fucking rapist. So fuck him.
Yeah, I think this might be a bit like controversial, but I think everyone, I don't know, I believe that you should at least be given a chance to change, which in his case it's probably too late. Like, he's already getting close to kicking the bucket. But I think he should be given a chance to change, but he definitely should not be allowed the same privileges as a normal person. Like, he should definitely get, like, he needs something to, like, restrain him, I guess. Like, I don't really know what that is.
You're referring to rehabilitation.
You're referring to prison.
That just doesn't... yeah, well, proper prison is rehabilitation. We don't get that here. That's something that happens in developed countries. We don't really get that here.
Agreed. Yeah. We in this country we believe in punishment and not rehab. And I'm not a judge, so I don't need to worry about rehab. I want him punished. But I would like to see him be rehabilitated, but he has shown zero remorse. So I don't believe that that's going to happen with him. Maybe a regular person, yeah, but not someone that has drugged and raped almost 100 women. Probably no rehabilitation for that motherfucker.
Yeah, he holds, or at least held, somewhat a good amount of power at one point in time. So, like, he, you don't really get to make a comeback if you were in a position of, like, influence. Because, like, obviously at this point, anything he says is invalid. So, like, he deserves no spotlight anymore, I guess.
Yeah, I'm very sad for the victims who waited, some of them decades, for any kind of justice, and to have it ripped away like this over something technical like that, it's an indictment of our justice system. And I think
embarrassing.
Yeah, I think we're going. Yeah, I don't know if we want to get that serious in this comedy podcast. I'm always happy to have that conversation, but there's serious problems with our justice system, and this is a good example.
Yeah, we can Yeah, we can hit on that at a later time. But I think we should stop there on Mr. Cosby.
Yes.
That's kind of, I don't want to get into that deep of a topic so soon.